Holler if you hear me, and welcome to this week's edition of Ladies, 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 because the Oscars are coming up, and I did say in a recent Shocks video that if there's anything about them that actually was interesting or important, I would bring it up. And, well, it appears that the results of the recent election is having some more extensive consequences when it comes to the insufferable left-wing brain rot that the Hollywood hive mind is going through. Because, yes, during the Golden Globes and the Screen Actors Guild Awards and all that, there was that film Emilia, Perez that was just getting reflexively handed Oscar after Oscar because basically it's another example of DEI checkbox filling the movie. I would not say it is the major example, it's just one of the big examples, but because it's full of just so much wokeness and because of Hollywood being so unstable in all the ways to try and force out some more hopium and copium, because how dare the election not go their way, and all those celebrities that are on the Diddy tapes, they got to go, and the FBI got to go and blackmail into promoting Kamala. None of it worked. So a film that's all about justifying a criminal man because how he has the right, the right melanin count, and because also jumping onto an identity politics convenience fee in order to go and jump around and get away from the crimes, and justifying all of those horrible crimes because, like I said, the correct melanin count and the correct skin tone. Yeah, it turns out that the actor that they were trying to go and make sure would be gift-wrapped a Best Actress Oscar win, turns out has a little something in their past. No, not any kind of criminal child assault. That's more for guys like Rob Reiner or Steven Spielberg and their victims like Scarlett Johansson or Drew Barrymore. This is more along the lines of, social media statements that very much contradict one of those. Pick a one out of them. There's so many. It's like when you got David Blaine going into the ghetto to do a card trick. Pick a card, any card. Pick any contradiction from some idol that the left tries to go and force up against you, and then what happens when their past experiences, their past deeds, or their past social media posts wind up contradicting that garbage they're trying to spew out there. And it turns out the star of Emilia, Perez, isn't exactly the kind of person that was using Twitter to go and be a sentient John Oliver talking point not too long ago. And it appears that now, in the wake of the movie having 13 Academy Award nominations, they're deciding now to go and, it appears maybe we might get a little something that will change all of that. That will make sure that all of what you see with all those potential nominations just might be changing, just might be disappearing, just might wind up going down a rabbit hole of, everything going down a rabbit hole. Further throwing the Emilia Perez praise parade down a deeper rabbit hole than all the video and pictorial evidence of every major Democrat in the last 30 years having personal massive ties to Harvey Weinstein. You'll sooner see them do a big montage of all those times the Clintons and the Obamas and Oprah and what have you were all praising Harvey, and we're all gladly accepting Harvey's money. And even that White House little event that happened with Blake Lively and Whoopi Goldberg sitting right behind good old Michelle as she was saying, this is all here because of Harvey, or how one of Obama's daughters was an intern for Harvey. Yeah, you'll sooner probably see, maybe as a distraction from the Emilia Perez backlash, they'll wind up going and acknowledging all of that, and maybe as an excuse because it'll somehow tie back to our good old friend Mr. Combs. Yes, the guy who was a Howard University graduate, but who would annually throw white parties. But, confession through projection, the way that Hollywood always wants to say everybody else is such a horrible bigot, but then if you pay attention to them for more than 5 seconds, you see how actually they're the biggest racists in the room. Just look at the history of their political party and you'll see, oh yeah, they were the ones that founded the KKK. They were the ones that worshiped socialists like Che Guevara, who imprisoned and tortured homosexuals and non-Hispanics and all of that over and over and over again, and put them in torturous labor camps with the signage around those camps saying, work will make you men. Yeah, it almost turns out that the reason why they have such a South America fetish when it comes to particular political leaders down there is because, is so long as it's somebody like a Che Guevara or like a Fidel Castro, who are the type of people that, are rebels, as in they're just pricks that are angry that one career failed, so now they're going to jump onto a political hustle in order to get what they want. like pretty much everybody involved in Emilia Perez. And it appears, well, now watch Zoe Saldana and the rest of the cast and crew do everything they can to try and distance themselves or get their publicist to conjure up all of the best things for them to say so that they won't look bad. Because remember, these people want to pretend that they're so important and so deep, but they are the most intellectually devoid people ever. They have the intellectual depth of Thumbelina's trading bureau. They are the kind of people like Seth MacFarlane, where the strange, fascinating narcissism of his character he voices on Family Guy Quagmire, ranting about how much he hates the character that he also voices, that's literally just a speaking voice, Brian, on the show, about how you act like the monologue that includes things like, you act like you're this big, deep, intellectual guy, and then you exclusively date bimbos. Yeah, I date women for their bodies, but at least I'm honest about it. Yeah, and when you get those guys out there, like, say, Charlie Sheen, who, in the wake of all the Me Too garbage and everything else like that, and all of the making men stand up, making men challenge themselves, or challenging toxic masculinity, all that other crap you see at the Golden Globes or Oscars when Margot Robbie pretends to have produced some Me Too revenge fantasy that then nobody remembers the second that the movie is out of the Oscar convention. From the same actress who got her career spreading her legs for DiCaprio, but because she was the billionth blonde to have done that, I think it's like that millionth customer award they have at grocery stores where you get balloons, confetti, and your prize is a film career. Yeah, those type of people. The type of people that want to pretend they care so much and act so much, but then the second that any sort of scrutiny is put towards their people, any sort of actual collection of thought and actions put towards any one of their little false idols, especially when it comes to the socialist garbage ideologue crap that they want to do. It involves the Hispanic community. You see, oh wait, the second something doesn't go their way, the second there is something that will incriminate them as hypocrites and liars, then it's a matter of throwing the star of Emilia Perez to the wolves and making sure all their other little accepted chosen people are going to be able to not have their names mentioned alongside this. Or if those people have the right kind of long-term Marvel contracts or had the kind of right long-term Marvel contract and didn't sue Disney for unpaid royalties, e.g. Emilia Perez co-star Zoe Saldana, they'll get their publicist to make sure they manufacture all the right things for them to say, because remember, these people have no ability to think or speak for themselves. That's why not Charlie Sheen, but I meant Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Kimmel, and the rest of those socialist simps in Hollywood need 50 writers and 17 hours of rehearsal and 14 teleprompters to be able to say whatever it is that they're going to be told to think that's going to be approved by Nancy Pelosi's ego or by Hillary and her desire for absolute power. And maybe now you know why these are the kind of people that can't stand anybody having been president ever since Obama. Not just because of the DEI checkbox and all that, but because of the whole media manufactured false idol status of Obama, where he was not able to string 5 words together without a fleet of prompters. So basically the teleprompter-in-chief, the correspondent-in-chief, is basically the only type of world, the only type of person, the only type of existence, the only type of being they would have ever wanted once they got that way. And now once people in Hollywood get their way in some subject or another, they refuse to go backwards to that. And if something starts falling apart, they won't ever change it. What they'll do is they'll just slightly change their branding. That's why if you say DEI, all that means is if you start criticizing DEI and people start to notice it and people start to ignore that or publicly rage against it, all they're going to do is change the name and expect it to be thought of as something different. Remember, these are the people that went from saying words like cripple and handicapped and retarded to things like handy-capable, all right, because they actually are the people, which is ironic when you consider this quote is coming from the original Reddit atheist George Carlin. But yeah, he was right when he said that these poor people have been bullshitted by the system and they're thinking that if you somehow change the name of the condition, it changes the condition. No, it doesn't. And that's not my opinion. I know I'm right. So thank you for watching. Subscribe so my channel hits 10,000 subs. Become a channel member today. Shop my art store at the second link below where you can buy my art or commission me, or you can support me directly with a donation there. My birthday is coming up on the 19th, so I have an Amazon wish list also linked below. So until then, be lines, slam it, lick it, suck it, and see you, Space Cowboy.